Hello, beautiful souls. As with many of our readings lately that I've been doing on the channel, this is another one that is really going to connect for a very specific group of people. So always use your intuition and, of course, only take the messages that do connect for you personally. But the dynamic that was coming through really strongly is of a twin flame or a very high level soulmate connection. A connection that is so core to the both of you, meaning it exists at such a core level and layer that it's almost delicate in a way, meaning that it has such a high frequency and a high intensity when the two of you connect that I'm hearing it can feel almost cataclysmic to any levels or layers of negative belief systems or limiting programming that either of you might be carrying that could actually obstruct the connection. And so for a long time, the two of you were actually protected from meeting one another in this physical incarnation, because if you were to meet too soon, or my guides were saying to bump into each other too soon in the physical realm, before you had done some of that work in peeling back those layers and raising your vibration, or as the title of this video says, in the process of peeling back those layers, you are naturally raising your frequency and aligning with a very high level timeline that I referred to in the title as an extremely rare timeline, meaning it's rare because in order to access it, you've had to raise your vibration to a super high level, which I'm hearing has required you to go through many sort of cataclysmic events in your life. When I say that, I mean events that felt kind of like earthquakes, metaphorically, that were very disruptive, that felt like storms in your life, but ultimately shook up your energy, and in doing so shook loose some of those negative patterns, programs, and belief systems for the purpose of actually starting to realign you with this higher vibrational timeline that, by the way, if this has been connecting for you so far, this is also a congratulatory message, because there is a congratulations built into this download that you actually have made it to this very rare timeline, a rare timeline that very few people have the privilege of accessing, but that you've been granted access to because you have allowed yourself to, I'm hearing, to be the vessel. So it's almost like you've had to surrender to allowing all of this really powerful energy flow through you, flow into your life, create this disruption, but ultimately through that disruption to create this realignment that's raised your frequency and allowed you to connect with this timeline where you are now bumping into this twin flame or soulmate. Now, for some of you, as of when you listen to this video, this will be someone that you've already met. For others of you, this will be someone entering your life very soon if you're aligning with the part of the message about having reached this higher timeline and you're sensing that somehow this is going to connect you with a deep soul connection. You can trust that sensing. That's your intuition speaking to you the truth and the resonance of this message for you. So we're going to go really deep into this whole dynamic, into this connection, and what it means for your spiritual journey. But first, I want to share with you my personal, most powerful and effective manifestation tool, and these are subliminals. Subliminals are audio meditations that contain unconscious spoken affirmations, and the difference with these affirmations is they're actually embedded within other sounds, tones, and frequencies, which allows them to bypass the conscious filter of the mind and make deeper, more lasting impressions on the subconscious mind, which is why they are so effective for manifesting, because research has shown it's actually our subconscious that controls 95% of our thoughts, actions, and outcomes in life. Personally, I started using subliminals several years ago, and I began to see nearly instantaneous shifts in my mood, my confidence, my happiness, and I also began to manifest many more of my dreams, goals, and desires in life. And I've seen that continue as I continue to use subliminals. So I've become so passionate about them that I've created an entire app dedicated to showcasing my personal library of subliminals that I'm now sharing with all of you. So as you can see on the screen, the name of this app is Sound and Soulful. It's now available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. And within this app, I have subliminals for love, relationships, twin flames, soul connections, energy clearing, manifesting specific things, and so much more. And when you sign up in the app, you get access to every subliminal I've created in 10 different background sound options. You can even create your own custom private playlists and read the affirmations while you are listening. This is such a powerful way to deeply reprogram your subconscious and magnetize yourself for your desires in life. Specifically for this reading, I would most highly recommend my Subliminal for Love Magnetism, because this is so effective at clearing any energy blockages you might be storing that could be preventing you from attracting the love you truly desire and deserve into your life. This can also be used to manifest a deeper, more physical connection with a specific person, or to generally attract more love and positive attention into your life. And since you're tuning in from YouTube, I have a special discount code for you. You can use the code LOVE11 in the app at sign up to get 10% off your membership. So the link to download the app and get started is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. Okay, so let's talk about this really deep soulmate or twin flame connection. So I'm going to start by shuffling the energy oracle cards, although as you guys know, recently the messages have just been flowing through so strongly that sometimes we end up channeling a lot, really absent of even needing many of the cards. So I'm getting the sense this may be one of those readings. I got the letter initials SOEM. Those could be in someone's first or last name. Okay, so what I want to know is what the purpose of this connection is, because I'm feeling very strongly that, okay, I'm getting a message that, so there's been a purpose to this connection all along in the spiritual realm. Even prior to the two of you bumping into each other in this physical world, I got the letter initials CHRYS. So those could be in someone's name. But even prior to the two of you bumping into each other physically, you've actually always been spiritually guiding each other. And what I mean by this is the essence of the other has always been guiding you into alignment with this very high timeline, high vibrational timeline that you've now connected with. So if this message is for you, you are most likely someone who, to some extent, has always considered yourself a hopeless romantic, and you have to know that the soulmate or twin flame you're connecting with has actually felt the same way. But the term hopeless romantic is just a term that society has used to label someone who has a very strong soul contract with someone that they haven't met yet, that they are destined to connect with in a sacred union. And so this person is actually intuitively sensing, even from a very young age, that there is this other soul that they are meant to be in a partnership with, a sacred union that is going to mutually activate the both of them into some kind of specific shared purpose or mission. And so people will refer to these kinds of individuals as hopeless romantics because they themselves may not necessarily have this kind of very rare, unique, sacred union partnership in their personal soul contract. So they may not be able to understand how an individual could carry around in their heart this deep soul knowing that a pure, unconditional, super high vibrational and spiritual all-encompassing love exists But that's exactly what you've been doing. You've been carrying around that knowing. And I'm hearing it's prevented you from settling, but sometimes in frustrating ways. So it's almost like even prior to meeting each other, you've both really struggled in love and relationships because, again, you've been this kind of hopeless romantic, which again is a mislabeling from society. Really, you've been sensing this very intense soul contract with each other. But also another word that you may have even called yourselves is idealistic. Notice how I keep referring to the both of you in the plural. So know that when you do encounter this person, if you haven't met them yet, you're going to notice a lot of parallels in the ways that the both of you think, the ways you feel about love, relationships, the way you view yourselves, life. There seem to be a lot of parallels in your thinking here. I just thought I would throw that in. But anyway, so another term that you may call yourself is idealistic, especially when it comes to dating, because you may have felt as though no one was ever quite good enough, or in relationships, connections, you always had this sense of still looking for the one or looking for someone. And you may have felt guilty for feeling that way because you're also a very empathic and loyal person. So it's not that you wanted to be disloyal in those connections. It's that your soul knew that it was holding out for a very sacred partnership, and it knew that these other connections may have served a purpose, but deep down, you always had the sense that I'm hearing that this wasn't your person, that it was temporary. Even if you wanted to fight that, there was always a part of you that knew these were stepping stones and building blocks and lessons, and they were serving a strong purpose on your life path. But you also recognize that you were holding out for something. And again, you may have thought of yourself as too much of a dreamer or too idealistic, but that really wasn't the case. Your soul was actually sensing that if you were capable of, I'm hearing, not settling in life, following that feeling and aligning with this very high vibrational, rare timeline, that ultimately you would meet this person that you were, I'm hearing, completely encompassed with. That's such a strange wording. I'm not sure why that's coming out here, but it's almost like someone who hits every target for you, someone who fulfills items on your list of things you're looking for in a partner, even things you may not have been able to recognize or write down consciously. Someone that you feel confident about and sure about. Now, for some of you, if you haven't yet met this person, maybe this is your sign of confirmation not to settle, to trust that feeling within yourself, because it's guiding you into something. It's this soft, gentle, beautiful guidance that is actually leading you into alignment with your highest vibrational timeline, where you will then connect with this twin flame or soulmate. And I actually just got the number 1313, and you guys know that I love looking up these angel numbers as they come up in the readings. So we are going to be channeling a message from that number, but this number says, okay, it's about personal growth, creativity, and alignment with your higher purpose. So maybe those themes are related to this process of aligning with your highest timeline. This highest timeline, it's not just about the energy, the vibration. It's not just the timeline where you carry this very high level frequency. It's also the timeline where you're infusing that frequency into something that you're creating that consists of your purpose. So I get that there's actually almost like a global reason that you've been so called to align with this highest timeline, because you're actually meant to be serving some very powerful purpose on this planet. And somehow for the soul I'm tuned into here, and this is going to be a dynamic that's a little bit hard to put into words, so you will have to kind of fill in the blanks here and maybe let me know in the comments how you understand this in your experience, how you feel about this. But essentially what I'm getting here is somehow for you, love and higher purpose have always been intertwined, but that's exactly why in your lived experience, they've always felt at odds. And let me explain. love and purpose for you were always meant to be intertwined, meaning when you settle in your love life, your romantic life, it naturally keeps you on a lower vibrational timeline trajectory that also prevents you from accessing those higher energies that you can then apply towards this creativity that you then are infusing into this very important purpose. I saw the number 1515, so maybe we'll channel into that soon, but I want to complete this thought. So you're then channeling that energy into this higher purpose. And actually, there's been this sacred partnership that's meant to play a role in that, where you're working directly with another soul. So most likely for whoever I'm speaking to here, the concept of being a team with a romantic partner, or being business partners and a couple, or being a couple and also collaborating or creating something together, or sharing your energy in some way, this kind of power couple dynamic, that idea has probably always really called out to you. And that's not incidental. That's actually because that is how love and purpose were meant to be intertwined for you. You were meant to be really empowering yourself on a personal level, learning how to fully radiate your core soul frequency in a full-blown way to align with this highest vibrational timeline. And then from that vantage point, you were meant to be capable to attract and sustain a very high frequency partnership or love connection, represented by this twin flame or soulmate that we've been talking about. This person who can actually align with you and support you in a partnership in that energy. And even if you're not working in exactly the same space or towards the exact same physical goal, there's still this massive mutually elevating energy flowing between the two of you. By the way, when I speak about this, I know I'm directing these messages at you, but it's very two-sided. This other person is feeling all of this as well. They've had the same longing. I'm getting something about travel over and over. I don't know who that's for. I also kept getting images of Paris and the Eiffel Tower today, so maybe that's relevant for you in some way, but also just this idea that the two of you may want to travel either literally together around the globe, or to travel through life together, through different phases and stages of your life, supporting each other all the while. And so because love, partnership, and your higher purpose were always so intertwined, you are most likely the kind of person who ironically always felt they were at odds with each other, because they are so intertwined that when you would get into a very serious but somewhat mediocre vibrational relationship, it would feel as though it was limiting you in every other area of your life, because quite literally it was, because it was lowering your energy and vibration to that level. So you may have reached a point where you finally just kind of threw your hands up and decided, I would rather be alone and work on myself and love myself deeply and build my dreams and be authentic and show up for myself every single day and just surrender my love life, than to tie myself into a connection that is only going to keep me from being able to do all of that. But so ironically, making that powerful decision is exactly why you've aligned with this video for the specific collective I'm speaking to here. Because you had the courage to be alone, you've now been able to align with this very powerful, sacred partnership, because you've allowed yourself to align individually with this very high level timeline. Now, again, for some of you, I might be speaking to something you're going through right now. So maybe you're still in that phase of having decided to just work on yourself, focus on yourself, and be alone. And that's what's felt right for you, but there's been these fears or doubts coming up. Know that you can trust that powerful decision, because it is going to allow you to align with this very high vibrational timeline trajectory, which, by the way, you've already been feeling yourself aligning with. You've been catching glimpses of it. And this is actually going to connect you with someone who supports and sustains you at that level that you haven't been able to connect with in the past. This is why you were not allowed to settle. That's the message that's coming through over and over. Like, neither of you have been allowed to settle. And if you are in this ongoing connection that's felt like it's a little bit complicated or not yet fully stabilized, but you're still feeling that this person is your person, that there's a really high level energy here. It's just there's certain things about the timing or the circumstances or obstacles, or maybe you're feeling bounced in and out of each other's lives somehow. Know that this only means that you both personally are working on fully solidifying your vibrations at this very high level so that you can come into harmony with each other. I'm hearing good things take time, which is such a cliche, but somehow I feel it actually really applies here, because you both have had this, again, it's very delicate because it's so powerful. It's like with any powerful substance, there's always a lot of procedure and a lot of precaution around handling it. And so your guides have been very, very careful to orchestrate everything between the two of you, even to protect you from meeting each other, to preserve this delicate but powerful connection for this future time where you would both be able to sustain it. And I actually see, again, if you've aligned with this video, you've either recently come into that time, which is why you're so being celebrated here, or this is your sign that you're right on track with it, and that's going to be happening for you very soon. So I am going to close this reading with one final Rumi Oracle message. Again, this was another reading where this reading we actually didn't pull a single card. At least the last reading we pulled a couple cards, but I've noticed sometimes this just happens in this co-creative process. Thank you for all of the energy you bring to the table here. And of course, if you do want to get real-time readings and energy updates about what's happening in the quantum realm, in the collective energy, I do recommend subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications, because this will actually allow you to get updated in real time when any of these things are being downloaded or coming up collectively. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself as well. So the final card to come out here is From Nothing to Everything, which is actually a personal message for me, because my guides are telling me that my next video needs to be a title that I received earlier that was, at first it seemed like nothing, but now it's become everything. So if that title caused goosebumps for you or connected with you in some way, then stay tuned for the next video on this channel, because that's where I'm going to be heading to next, recording that. But I also feel that for all of you out there listening, there is a guidebook message here as well. It also just occurred to me that the number 1515 came up in the reading and we never channeled from it. So let's go ahead and channel from that as well. And hopefully, following the flow of this energy, it will actually connect in some way with the Rumi message. So the Rumi card here is, oh my friend, if you are longing to be written on, become a blank page. Have you been shedding your skins, your layers, your certainties? Gone are fixed identities and definite opinions. Keep casting those shackles aside, even if you fear you are releasing too much, and then perhaps you shall cease to exist. You shall only cease to exist as you have known yourself to be thus far. Another emanation of you awaits, blazing angel, something more beautiful and true. Yet here you are at the pruning stage, like a gardener for the soul. Shall the garden spring back to life? Fear not. Your soul is made of hardy stuff. It can handle a lot of calling and will shine even brighter for it. So the number 1515 is a message about transformation, new beginnings, and the manifestation of your desires. It suggests that significant changes are coming into your life. What have we been saying this whole reading? That perfectly aligns. Align your intentions with your highest goals. Trust your inner wisdom. Make choices that resonate with your highest good. And I'm hearing that's actually the pathway to continuing to align with this highest vibrational timeline we've been channeling into, that then naturally connects you with this soulmate or twin flame. It's about continuing to trust your inner wisdom and to make the next best choice that is most aligned for your highest good, and to surrender the rest. So I really hope this message brought clarity or confirmation to someone listening. If you do feel guided to incorporate my Love Magnetism Subliminal into your manifesting routines and energy clearing rituals, this will really assist you and clearing the energy in this connection, keeping your vibration aligned with that highest timeline and connecting you more with this person, this sacred partner as well. So to download my Subliminals app, you can click the link in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.